I can live with that. Coming in, I expected the Sens to lose 5-2, at best. But no. Yeah, they still lost, but it was actually really close. Hello, darkness, my old friend. You've come to talk with me again. Sens lose 3-2 in a shootout to the Vegas Golden Knights.
How are the young guys now? I finally did it! I scored again! Quit taking penalties!
The Sens are gonna blow this game. Way to tie up the stick in front. Not.
Well done. Just well done.
You better believe we're going to be having a penalty chat at the end of this one.
What a time to be alive!
What a long and brutal season that was.
This team, man!
Geez, that really was a lot closer than I expected. Sure, Nilsson needed to be really good and bail them out a number of times, but at least they got a point. As always though, before we dig too far into the game, let's kick things off with lineup changes. After the Sens were shut out 2-0 to Minnesota on Monday, they made a pair of such changes, as Mikhail Bodker drew out, Nick Paul drew in, Craig Anderson drew out, and Anders Nilsson got his second start of the season. And speaking of lineup changes, as a Sens fan, something we've never seen before, Mark Stone playing against the Ottawa Senators, as the former Sen played his first game against his former team since last February's trade. Unfortunately for the Sens though, Stone and the Knights came out much hungrier than the Sens did, and just over 4 minutes into the first period, the Knights take the lead. The Sens have the puck in their own zone, but absolutely cannot get it out. As Tierney spins and fires a shot, it hits DeMello, he gets the puck, he loses it, falls down, Marchessault picks it up, feeds Riley Smith in front, he's wide open, makes a quick forehand-backhand move, slides it through Nilsson's 5-hole, and just like that, the Knights lead 1-0. Oh, man. I know they say young team, lots of mistakes, but these weren't even young players' mistakes. Tierney just straight fires it off his own guy, who's standing like 2 feet away from him. Then DeMello looks like a 6-year-old stumbling and bumbling around on the ice, and Borro gets caught cheating as he's leaving the zone before the puck does. It's a lot of ridiculous play from 3 guys who are in their mid to late 20s. They have enough experience to know just shouldn't happen. It's just a terrible start to a hockey game. You can't have that. Fortunately though, exactly 1 minute later, the Sens pull into a tie thanks to Hot Sam Bacho. Tierney forces a Knights turnover in their own end. He tries to feed Brown in the slot. The puck goes through his stick or something, lands perfectly on the stick of Chabot. He toe drags by Stastny, fires a wrist Chabot by Fleury, and just like that, we're tied at 1. It may not have been the Shabam, but Thomas proves that wrist Chabot ain't too shabby either. Get this guy on the power play and let him fire away. Speaking of power plays, the Knights get one just past the midway mark, use every second of it, and regain the lead. Mark Stone feeds Nick Holden off a Golden Knights 1 faceoff with 1 second left in the power play. He fires a shot on goal that goes off Tkachuk's stick, bounces off the ice, goes top corner, and the Knights lead 2-1. Not much Nilsson's gonna do on that one, and yeah, Brady's gotta get his stick out of the way, but this goal was all about the faceoffs, and man has Ottawa been bad at that this year. The Sens ranked 20th in the NHL in faceoff percentage this season, at 48.5%. Ironically, 0.1% better than the Golden Knights, but it feels like every time the Sens have a big faceoff this season, they lose it. While I can't find a stat to show Ottawa's faceoff percentage based on player strength or location of faceoff, what we do know is that the Sens spend more time chasing the puck directly off a faceoff than they have with the puck. Generally, that means bad things, and in this case, that meant a Mark Stone assisted goal. Thankfully though, despite the Golden Knights firing 16 shots at the Sens goal, those were the only 2 that beat Nilsson as we head to the first intermission, with the Golden Knights in front, 2-1. The Knights continue pressing in the second, firing 16 more shots at Nilsson, but Anders is equal to the task each and every time, and we head to the second intermission with the Knights still in front, 2-1. And despite the Sens being outshot 32-24 through the first two periods, doesn't take the Sens 4.5 minutes into the third period to tie the game at 2. Brown outworks two Golden Knights for the puck behind Vegas' zone, pops a little pass to Ennis, he drives hard to the net, his shot is stopped, Pajot drives in hard, chips the puck over top of Fleury, into the top of the net, and just like that, we're tied at 2. Pajot! 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 Credit to Pajot and Ennis for sure for driving the net, but this goal was all about Brown. He steals the puck from Theodore, then fights off Theodore and McNabb long enough to feed Ennis. That's a man that wants the puck, and if the Sens can get more guys that want the puck like that, wins will quickly start coming. The win doesn't come for the Sens through the end of regulation though, as the Golden Knights absolutely dominate the third period, outshooting the Sens 20-10, but thankfully for Ottawa, Nilsson is equal to the task each and every time, and we head to overtime, tied at 2. Ah yes, for the first time this season, we get a little taste of 3-on-3 hockey. Not 30 seconds in, Fleury stops Messikov in tight, Pajot picks up the rebound, and Fleury turns him aside too. Then a little bit later, Chabot feeds Brown back door, he half-fans on the shot, that allows Fleury's pad to come across and kick out the save. Oh man, I thought they had that one. The game continues to go back and forth. The teams combined for 5 other overtime shots, but none of them beat the goalies, and we head to a shootout, tied at 2. Pirri and Messikov then trade shootout goals, setting the game into extra shots. Ennis and Theodore then tie it again, setting up Brady Tkachuk for his first ever shootout attempt, but he comes in, fires one high over Fleury, giving Marchessault a shot for the win. Marchessault comes in down the left side, cuts across to the right, fires a shot by the glove of Nilsson, and the Golden Knights win 3-2 in a shootout. And the score in the shootout was also 3-2. And surprise, surprise, the first guy to meet Marchessault is Mark Stone, who picks him up and holds him high. So close, yet so far. Just before we get into good news, bad news, a special shout out to Stone, who I thought had a real strong night. A lot of the Golden Knights top guys also had good nights, but this game meant a little more to Stone, and you could tell. He was all over the ice. As always though, let's get into good news, bad news. The Sens power play is atrocious, and that is the bad news. There's one team in the NHL this season with a 0% power play percentage, and that team is the Sens. 0%. Let that sink in for a minute. The Sens have not scored a goal on the power play at all. They're 1-4-1 on the season, which if my math is correct, is 6 games. They have 6 games and no goals. The Sens were 0-4 on the power play in this game, pushing their season record to 0-21. 21 chances to score a power play goal, and you have 0. It's just terrible. But honestly, their lack of goals isn't even the biggest problem. The Sens have allowed 1 shorthanded goal so far this season, meaning they've been outscored on their power play. And in this game, their poor power play cost them another goal. No, it wasn't a shorthanded goal, but thanks to their poor play on the power play, it did cost them a power play goal. The second night's goal came on said power play. And why did they get a power play? Because Ottawa's power play was so bad, they were hemmed in their own zone and had to take a penalty just to save themselves from giving up a shorthanded goal. It's these kinds of things that just hurt teams. The Sens continue to do it thanks to a terrible power play, and that is the bad news. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if teams just start saying, hey, let's play 5-on-4 against these guys. We'll have an easier time. Now, for the good news. Anders Nilsson was excellent in goal last night, and that is the good news. It was only the second start of the season for Nilsson, who bounced back from a rough outing in his first performance, posting 52 saves, including a number of huge saves, as he was the main reason the Sens at least got a point. Thank you to Anders Nilsson. The Sens got a point thanks to his excellent work, and that is the good news. Next up, The Sens continue on their 3-game road trip, making a stop in Arizona to take on the Coyotes later tonight. Oh boy. We all know what happened the last time the Sens visited Arizona. Just stay in your hotel room, boys. On the ice against the Coyotes last season, it didn't go any better for the Sens either, as they were outscored 8-3 in 2 losses, including 5-1 in Arizona. Ironically, that game saw Mike Condon give up a Derek Stepan goal from basically the other end of the ice, and he never played another game for the Sens and was traded in the summer. The Yotes are also a respectable 3-2-1 so far this season, so fingers crossed. That's it for this video. Hit like if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share the video around if you can, and today's question is, would you start Anders Nilsson more? Coming into this season, DJ Smith said it would be a 50-50 split, but so far, Anderson has 4 starts, Nilsson only has 2. But this game was really strong from Nilsson, so if it's me, I'm starting him again against the Coyotes. What do you think? Let me know down below. And I'll see you later tonight when the Sens take on the Arizona Coyotes.